Good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, any cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, it's a Friday, and we get to hang out with our friendly state senator of the great state of Minnesota, State Senator Mary Kunesh. Big Peenigee, thank you for coming on as always, and having a positive spin on everything. I really appreciate this. It's a good way to end the week. Thank you so much for being on.
Well, Pulatanka for having me here. Matakiape, everybody.
Yeah, so it's great to have you on. A lot going on as usual, but I always like to try and start out and ask you what you've been doing this past week, and you can let all your constituents, and it's always kind of the day in the life of a state senator. So thanks again for being on, and what have you been up to?
Well, first and foremost, helping out with my two new grandbabies, my little grandsons. They finally have names, Oscar and Isa.
Nice.
And I think you heard one of my granddaughters say, "Oh, we call him Ozzy." They were born. Yeah, they were born on the day that Ozzy Osbourne passed away.
Come on.
Yeah, so a little nod at Ozzy. I hope they have some of Ozzy Osbourne's unique, entertaining personality, but they're little guys, and so feeding every 3 hours. I've been going over there in the evenings to help get through the nights so that one or the other can get some rest. But I was actually gone for 5 days to Saskatoon up in Saskatchewan. I don't know if you've ever been there.
No.
It is the easiest little flight, hardly 2 hours. It's not very expensive to fly up there, and it is a lovely, lovely city. It's right on the river, the south, I think it's Saskatoon River, and it feels like home. It really does feel like, and really and truly, it's just an extension of the prairie of the Minnesota prairie lands and woodland lands. Mm-hmm. So it felt a lot like home. I got to go out and tour a mine, potash mine. I don't know if you know anything about potash. I didn't know much about that at all, but it is a mineral that is the main ingredient of fertilizer in agriculture.
Wow.
And right now this mine, or Saskatoon, which has a huge deposit of this, it provides like 90%, 95% of the potash for the Midwest farmers for their fertilizer. So you can imagine that the agriculture world is very, very nervous about these tariffs coming down. I mean, our farmers, our agriculture community is already suffering from the price hikes, lack of labor because of all the migrant workers that used to travel around and help do the harvest and all the other work that have now disappeared. And if there is any kind of a tariff that gets attached to this, those farmers are going to be in a huge hurt. But anyways, we went out. It was less than an hour drive from Saskatoon. They took us down in a elevator, 3,500 feet.
What?
And then we drove into the earth for about 25 minutes on these carts, kind of like big big golf carts, and it was dark. I was very nervous. I just didn't even know what to expect, but very cavernous. It was dry down there, so that was good. And because we were in an open vehicle, it was breezy while we were driving. And yeah, it was pretty fascinating to see what they're doing and listen and hear how much of the world is dependent on that potash that comes out of Saskatchewan. So
Crazy.
that was great. Yeah. Yeah, it was a conference for the Midwest legislators. So 11 of our Midwest states, those legislators participated. It's nonpartisan. So we had Republicans and Democrats. Lots of folks from Minnesota went. And then we have 3 of the provinces up in Canada that their premiers and elected officials participated. So it was really great.
Wow, that's awesome. Let's talk a little bit just to back up. I want to just remind everyone when it comes to these tariffs, Trump acts like, what was it, China that went to 15% and that it was a big victory, but it used to be 0%. Mm-hmm. So, again, he's going to hit the consumer big time and it's going to slow things down, like you said. So we always have to talk about that, remind people of, it's never a victory when Trump's starting at 100% when it really is 0%.
Yeah, that is true. And so this conference with all these legislators, we had a lot of different speakers come in, experts on both sides of the issues. So there's some sides that I was like, that's what they were spewing was not correct. It was misinformation that we've heard for a long time, especially around climate justice and climate change. But the one thing that we heard from the former prime minister of Canada is that Canada is working very hard at minimizing any kind of their dependence on the United States. So any of the goodwill work that we used to do, or in partnership or support, I think that Canadians are very much not interested in partnering with Minnesota or with the United States much anymore. And there are a lot of folks that are sad that they're not coming down to the United States for their vacations or shopping trips or whatnot. There are a lot of them that, are proud that they're not stocking any of our liquor and booze and a lot of our products up there. But, and these are people that say, if I were a U.S. citizen, I would have voted for him. But now that he's done this, we don't get it. We just don't get it.
Well, it's interesting, too. For years, the Toronto Blue Jays, whenever they'd play in Minnesota, especially at the Dome, they'd get thousands of people come down just to see the baseball game, and not anymore.
No, it was so crazy because I can't even tell you how many Canadians said, "Oh, I love Minnesota. We come down. We're big Twins fans, or we're big Vikings fans, but we're not going to be there for a while." Yeah. But next year, this conference happens every summer. Next year, we're hosting it here in Minnesota.
Oh.
Yeah, in St. Paul, and I got them to do it over the fairground, the state fair time. So we should have a lot of folks coming in, and we plan to get them over to the state fair to see our great state fair. But and a lot of them said we'll come for the conference, and so I'm really hoping that they will. But it's interesting to see that viewpoint of those that were pro-America before now have a lot of issues.
Exactly. Well, have them stop by Native Roots Trading Post next year and get all their paraphernalia there and bring back. Hey, we're here with State Senator Mary Kunesh, and we're catching up here on a Friday. This is always a great time with her. This is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this short break. Please stay with us.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things. It beats all the time, and it works very hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NAGD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nagd.org.
Annie, and I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are here with, it's Native Roots Radio, and we're here with State Senator Mary Kunesh. And State Senator, we had to take a break, and I'm wondering if there was more to report up. It sounds like an exciting trip, and like you said, it was an easy flight up there, but it's also people really talking about sad things that we talk about here of not crossing the border, and it
is sad that those kind of relationships have been broken and maybe permanently broken. But what was really interesting is to recognize the commonality of the issues that that they have up there that are so similar to ours. There is a strong Indigenous community and a strong presence there. Mm-hmm. Along the river, they have a couple of beautiful, huge sculptures that share the information about the Indigenous people around their treaties and the boarding school. We saw a lot of information or a lot of signage about MMIW. And I don't know if you remember this, but it was really the Canadians that led in, trying to understand this whole trauma around MMIW. And it was initial preliminary report from Canada that I listened through the CDC about what they were doing to address MMIW that spurred me to create that task force. Yeah. And so I was able to speak with a couple of their Indigenous people about the work that they're doing up there. And I told them about what we have this permanent office. We have the license plate. We have the reward program. They were very impressed. There's also a legislator from Wisconsin, and they are trying to do similar things like that as well in Wisconsin. So I'm really proud that we kind of lead the way when it comes to addressing these sort of issues in Indian country. One of the gentlemen that I got to meet and speak with is the president of the Métis Nation. up in Saskatchewan. His name is Glenn McCullum. What a really nice gentleman.
Cool.
Yeah. And he is very, he is very focused in making sure that their community is a healthy a healthy community. He's very big on making sure that they have the ability to self-govern, and especially rooted in their Métis culture, which is really, really unique. And I hope to get up there and meet with them again. They apparently have a really great fall festival, and so I thought, well, actually, President McCollum did invite me to go up there. So I hope he extends that invitation again, because, as I said, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to get up there, and it's just really rewarding and pleasing for me to see that the work that we're doing down here complements and kind of works in conjunction with the work that they're doing around Indigenous issues as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember too that they were kind of the first, meaning Canada, when they were talking about the boarding school and finding all the bodies outside, buried outside their boarding schools.
Yeah.
And then it kind of blew up all over both nations.
It did. Again, and I'm interested to see what it was about Canada that, really compelled them to address these issues before anybody else. And when you look at the documentaries, at, movies about this whole situation, it's Canada that has led on all of that. And we just sort of end up on the shirt tails of them. But again, the folks that I spoke with and that I met with, I said, let's work on these things together, because those are our relatives. Those are our Dakota, our Lakota, our Anishinaabe relatives are their relatives as well. And so when it comes down to those sort of things, I think it's really important that we don't have that nationalistic attitude, because we're all related, right?
And there was no borders
together.
No borders before. Hey, one of the things we talked about, I believe, last week about the big news about, the reward and how that's going to be worked out. Maybe we can talk just a little bit about that again and remind some of our listeners, or maybe they didn't hear that show.
Yeah. So we finally were able to establish the reward program that's embedded within the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives Office. It's a piece of legislation that Representative Koslowski and I passed 2 years ago. And it's taken us this long to finally establish that account. Government is not always quick,
right?
And the bureaucracy and making sure that we're doing it right took us about this long to do it. But the fund was established when we passed the legislation. So we were able to put $250,000 into that account. And then due to the license plate that we created, the MMIR license plate, those dollars also go to that office and into that reward fund. We're expecting that there will be expenses when more of these cases. Hopefully we will get more and more clues. We will get more and more tips from people. They will be rewarded through this account for that information. And then, they'll start to piece together some of these long-term, confusing cases.
Right.
And, we now have a new director at the office. Juliet Rudy was our original director, and she got things set up. She established an an incredible team there. And thank you to Anna Nagrit, who has been there for a while and acted as the director until our new director, Guadalupe Lopez. Congratulations, Guadalupe. I know that you have committed your life and your career to addressing violence in Indian countries. So we're happy to see you in that place and leading the next chapter of all of this. There's still a lot of work to do in that office. I mean, we need to be able to access data. We need to be able to share data with different jurisdictions. There needs to be accountability within state, county, local police offices, because, we heard very clearly that in some communities, you can go talk to the police or report things and they will respond appropriately, quickly, and accurately. In other places, that's not the case. And we knew that from the very start. That hasn't changed in a lot of ways, even though there are many communities and public service, police officers and departments that are looking to assist in these ways. So the office is just, it's so new. There's no roadmap. Nobody's done this before. We're the ones that are doing all the creating and figuring out the problems and running into roadblock here and finding the next thing that we can do. But all we can, the best we can do is continue to encourage them, create legislation that will support them. Support the people that are doing the work. There's a lot boots on the ground, nonprofit agencies, organizations, women's resources, violence against women, business or groups. So still lots of work to do, but we're getting there. And we're leading the way. I mean, we have to be positive because we're leading the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I've really noticed that natives missing has not slowed down. It's almost picked up, it seems like, just from my Facebook feed and my social media feeds. Yeah.
And that, again, you have to wonder what's going on, if it's picking up, if there's something happening out there that we are not aware of, or if there are really nefarious people or organizations out there that, that are targeting Indigenous people. Those are the sort of things that I'm hoping we will be able to continue to work on and work with that MMIR office.
Yeah, definitely. What else has been going on? I know you're a part-time worker with a full-time schedule, and that sometimes has got to be hard. And being a former teacher, I just want to give a quick shout out, and I think we talked about this too, about Governor Evers last week, and just a shout out to a former teacher also that was governor of Wisconsin, and that's not running again.
Yeah, we need more teachers in leadership positions. I'll say that much. I have had just the pleasure of serving as education finance chair in the Senate with Senator Swadzinski. He himself had been a teacher for over 30 years. So he's the policy committee chair. So just know in Minnesota, you have two teachers that are doing the work at the legislature, and we're looking forward to the new school year.
Hey, right on. Hey, this Native Roots Radio. Do you have time for another quick segment?
Can I stay for one more? The girls say yes.
Right on. Hey, we're with State Senator Mary Kunesh, and we'll be right back. This is Native Roots Radio.
Hey, this is Patrick for Zero Res. Did you know that August is Pet Appreciation Month? Zero Res is safe for all pets with no harsh soaps or chemicals in their cleaning products. If you have a pet like I do, you know they like to leave little bits of themselves around the house, whether that's fur or dander or worse, and you should call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to get things back in shape in your house. Carpet, tile, hardwood, rugs, upholstery, air ducts, every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. If you haven't tried out Zero Res or it's been been months since your last deep clean, then now is the time to call. Right now, you can get your entire home zero-resified from Minnesota's ultimate carpet cleaner and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $149. Take 15% off pet odor treatments and 50% off an air duct cleaning. Schedule your appointment today at ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 9520-RES and ask for the AM 950 special. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res.
Hi, this is Frank Brown of Minuteman Press Uptown with a question for our listeners. How important are business values to you? When you need high-quality digital print, it matters who you work with. You see, Minuteman Uptown is unique. We're one of the only union print shops in Minnesota providing our team with living wages and benefits. We believe in second chances for justice-impacted individuals who want to contribute to the community, and we are active in local issues. We've been in the streets standing up for racial, social, and economic justice. At Minuteman Uptown, our mission is to connect all communities through technology-driven print solutions. An example of that mission is when I moved Minuteman Uptown to North Minneapolis. We're invested in this local community, and we help small businesses and local organizations throughout the Twin Cities reach their audiences. Reach out to Minuteman Uptown and partner with a printer that shares your values. Call us today at 612-870-0777 or visit us at mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com.
Hi, I'm Peter Solak.
And I'm Adam Ostrowski.
We are here at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces to talk about the joy of live fire cooking. Cooking over a live fire is the oldest and most basic form of cooking.
What's new is in the way fire is handled and its heat is managed.
It's easier to experience and enjoy the smell and taste of food cooked over a live fire.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces sells and installs live fire grills, fire pits, and ovens. Let us help you experience the smell, the taste, the fun of cooking with fire.
Pizza was first made and is still best made in an open fire oven. The radiant and conductive heat of a live fire is unmatched for wood roasting and baking artisan breads too.
Come see the many ways you can cook over a live fire.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has over 35 working wood and gas units on display at the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis. More information at woodlandstoves.com. Find the fire that works for you. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. Out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
Oh, this is Dallas Goldtooth, and you're listening to the Native Roots Radio. Hoka, hicha, wecha.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio. We are here with State Senator of the great state of Minnesota, Mary Kunesh, and her grandchildren, which our little ones are 7th generation. They're sacred to us, and it's fun that you watch them. How often do you watch them? Is it twice a week?
Twice a week this summer. There's a lot going on, and so I said I would commit to two days a week, and then in the past it's been just one. But both of these girls are going to go to preschool in the fall.
Yay!
Yeah, so I don't know. I might not get them as much as I used to. That's the pain of them growing up, is that they grow up and then you don't get to hang out with them as much anymore, and I'll miss them. But they're growing up fast and they're growing up good. Yes, much strong.
Right on. Well, that's you know what I would like to do, and this will go quick. You've been on the show, I bet you, at least 7 years.
Yeah.
It's radio, at least 7 or 8 years. We're in our 9th season.
Yeah.
And what I would like you to do is maybe just talk a little bit about how everything came together. I know the story, but when you first started running as a state representative and why and how that happened, and maybe just a little history of you, State Senator.
Sure.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Let's see. So I just finished my 5th year in the Minnesota Senate, and I was in the House of Representatives 4 years before that. And prior to all of this, I was a teacher for 25 years. So I taught as a library media specialist in public schools here in the Twin Cities. And I think in part, the reason I decided to run for office is because I saw the real life struggles of the families that I was working with and the kids that I were teaching. So increase in homelessness and food insecurity, lack of resources for like clothing and things like that. And, you know, I always looked out for our Native kids. You know, I kind of looked through every year, figuring out who was, you know, I thought might be a Native kid and if they were registered as such or not. And I think it's really important for parents to know, and I've said this many times, is that if there are more than 10 kids that identify as Native American in a school, not just a district, but a school, then they are obliged by law to create a parent advisory group, Native American parent advisory group. And that parent advisory group needs to work with the school to ensure that the kids are getting the resources they need to succeed. And not, you know, it's not just the math, reading, and, you know, and arithmetic kind of stuff, but also the cultural resources to retain their language, their culture, their dignity, their self-worth. And they're tasked to work with the school to ensure that those resources are there. And the state has provided money and support systems for that. So if you are a parent, please, you know, identify your student when they register for school, first of all, as a Native kid, because there's also federal dollars that come down that that provide a lot of extra support systems. And then the school, that parent advisory group has to concur with the school that those resources are going in the right place the way that they want them to go. And if they're not, then they're supposed to make some really positive changes for sure. So I was really intent on making sure that those kids were getting what they needed and that the school was doing what they were supposed to. But it was really my daughter who started working on a gubernatorial campaign that drew me into understanding what it takes to be an elected official. And every campaign needs volunteers. So I started, you know, helping with door knocking, letter writing, phone banking. I got to know who's who and what's what, and more involved in my own local Senate district. And so when my state rep decided to, my senator decided to retire, my state rep ran for her seat, and they me to run for that state rep seat, and I did. And I think when I look back on the last 9 years at the legislature, the kind of work and the kind of resources that we were able to bring to our communities, our Native communities, has been fantastic. I mean, we have the MMIR office. We created permanent funding for Indian education for all. We enforced ICWA, which Minnesota. We have MIFBA, Minnesota Indian Family Preservation Act. One of my proudest things is the return of the Lower Sioux State Park to the community. Or Upper Sioux, I'm sorry. And, you know, that was an important one. We've gotten parcels of land returned to the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe. Just a lot of really good things, especially when you look at how they affect children and families and resources. You know, there's not an area we haven't touched. Healthcare. Mascots, you know, allowing, I mean, something as simple as allowing kids to wear their tobacco bags, you know. We had to legislate to ensure that was going to be able to happen. And so, you know, when we talk about representation matters, it really, really, really does. And I get really nervous because I'm the first Native woman to serve in
Mhm.
the Minnesota Senate. We do have another Native gentleman in the Senate, but we don't always see providing resources to the Indigenous community in the same way. And I rarely find any kind of support from that gentleman.
Mm.
I'm the only one there doing this work. And so I always say, I need help. I
Right.
really need more people to step up. And it's not easy. It's not easy to run a campaign. It's not easy to be elected and then do this work. I'm not going to lie, but it's really rewarding.
Yeah.
And I'm always learning. You know, I'm a very curious person. I really think that, you know, I'm a lifelong learner.
Right.
I'm the first person to recognize that I don't know everything. I know a lot about I know a little about a lot.
Me too.
But sometimes all those little pieces are what puts it together when we're trying to do legislation or create resources that are going to help. Because I'm a firm believer that when our tribes and our urban communities, or any community of Native folks, when they're doing better, everyone around them does better too.
Mhm.
And we've seen the fallout from generations of lack of investment and neglect and, downright, prejudice. We need
Mhm.
to get things done. And please come help me, come help at any level, school board, city council, anything.
Well, and with you and then the former lawmakers too, Alan, and we have,
Susan
the
Allen. Yep.
yeah,
She was
Susan
the
Allen.
first Native woman to be elected to the legislature. Yep.
Yeah, but things have happened here. I know I have done a lot of government stuff in Wisconsin, and we are grateful because of the representation that we've had here with you and a few other people that we have on the show and talk to, that it's night or day of what's happening here in Minnesota. So just a big peeny thank you for what you do, because it's a big difference, and we're kind of the beacon on many things across Turtle Island that we're getting done here native wise.
Yeah. Sometimes I recognize that we are in a really unique situation, because I get frustrated, I get impatient. Why isn't this happening? Snap, snap, snap. And then I talk to other legislators who aren't able to get anything done. Nothing. And they're like, how did you do that? Will you tell us how you did it? How can we do that too? Will you come testify, like in Wisconsin? And she'd like me to come over and work with them. And I'm happy to do that.
Mhm.
But I have to also recognize that Minnesota is unique in the fact that we have been so successful. I don't know that that's the case in any other state in the United States.
Right.
And we get a little, like I said, spoiled,
Mhm.
a little insulated, and don't recognize the strife that's going on outside of our world, because we're like, we did it. We did the good work. Now let's find the next one to do. And people are
Right.
still struggling with it. Yeah.
Well, I know one of the coolest things that's happening that hasn't happened anywhere else is too that the BIPOC groups are first come, first serve when it comes to the cannabis that's legalizing, and that's huge, because other states, talk about trickle down. We'll get it to them, and now the tribes here can be proactive because of the laws that you
Mhm.
guys passed.
Yep. I mean, that was really intentional. That was a plan to ensure that our Indigenous communities and the communities that have always been left out of these kind of opportunities to build economic security and bring resources into their own community. They always talk about pull yourself up by your bootstraps. But when you are an individual or you are a group of people that have been historically, generationally, and then very intentionally left out of these opportunities, this was an opportunity for those communities to have the first cut at being able to do the good work.
Well, thank you, State Senator Mary Kunesh, for being on, and we really appreciate you and your grandchildren sharing you with us on this day. And have a great week, and thank you again for all you do and being on our show every week.
Sure thing. Talk shy, everyone.
Hey, right on. This is Native Roots Radio. Up next to Wendy with her Sacred Animal portion. This is Native Roots Radio.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune into Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things. It beats all the time, and it works very hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NAGD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nagd.org.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
In this portion of the show, we like to bring awareness to our Minnesota wolf population. Say no to the hunts.
No. Hey, that's a good one. Hey, I want to introduce my awesome and beautiful wife, Wendy. Wendy has been an animal advocate for many years, and she's a co-founder of Native Roots Radio, which we've been getting Native our relatives updates here for over 9 years, Wendy.
Woo! Hey, everybody. My name is Hanajihi Hani. That means cares for them. I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals, formerly known as the Humane Society of the United States. And we work on animal issues at the local and state level. And it's always my pleasure to do that. So I was out shopping. I was out shopping a couple of weeks ago.
What?
Yeah, and I went to this little tchotchke store.
What does that mean?
Tchotchke. Tchotchke is a slang word. I think it's Yiddish. Tchotchke. It means like little things or novelty items. So it's
like my little salt and pepper.
Little tchotchke things, like little knickknacks, really.
Knickknacks, yeah.
But anyway, I went on Grand Avenue here in St. Paul to a place called Good Things. That's the name of the store. It's called Good Things, and it has a lot of things. It has like women's clothes in it. It has like jewelry. It's household items, but like nice things that you would go into that store to buy a gift for somebody. They have cards and stuff. But Robert, I found this really cute. Excuse me, I just have to clear my throat. a really cute little bracelet. Now, I was shopping for little birthday gifts for our daughters. Usually give them some money, but I like to pick them up a little something.
Yeah.
But anyway, I saw this cute thing. It was a bracelet with a little giraffe on it. But not only that, but they had all different kinds of these little bracelets. They kind of like stretch onto your wrist. They're kind of made of beads, and then they have like a little animal on it. So I picked the giraffe because I like giraffes.
Aw.
Yeah, but they have all kinds of little animals. And the weird and the fun thing about this, I'm going to give you the name of it. It's called Phalo, Fahlo. That's the company that makes these bracelets. But each bracelet tracks the animal that's on the bracelet.
Wow.
Yeah. So you open up the paper after you buy the bracelet. It was really inexpensive too. The bracelet was like $16.95, right?
Wow.
For a really cute little bracelet. And then you open up the little packet and it gives you a QR code to scan. Now you download the free app and I get to track my specific giraffe. So I'm online right now tracking my giraffe. My giraffe has a name.
Oh.
Yes, my giraffe's name is Fazio, Fawsio, and it's a Somalian name meaning survivor.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, these animals are tagged and then they're tracked for conservation. Right. So we're watching for environmental changes, habitat changes. They're watching for poachers. Right.
Good.
And really watching this animal, and they can track it. So I go online and I'm looking at my giraffe, my specific giraffe called Fawsio, Fowsio. Yeah. Anyway, he's in Africa. So on the east coast of Africa, near Kenya, and I could see the satellite view of exactly where this animal is right now. And then as you zoom in, it tracks the animal and tells you like how far it went, where is it going, all these things. It's like so interesting.
That's crazy.
Now, I believe that you can go on and get this app for free. Again, the app is called Phalo, Fahlo, F like Frank, Ahlo. And you go on, and I believe I just did this a little while ago, but I think that you could go on and track an animal that you're interested in. So yeah, see, now it says I could track another animal. I could track another giraffe if I want, but I think I'd have to like pay a little bit of money for that. But I just think it's like so interesting. And I was reading about it a little bit, and they said that the tracking is delayed. So like when I went on tonight, it said the last time it saw my giraffe was on July 13th. Right, today's the 17th, and you know why they do that?
Why? Oh, I do know. Go ahead.
Why? Go ahead. Tell me what you think.
So poachers can't track them.
That's right. So poachers can't track the animal. You're absolutely right. Or if there's somebody who's a poacher, right, and they go on to find this app, they can get the other, they could find the giraffe. Isn't that unbelievable? So yeah, it's delayed like 3 days.
That's cool.
Yeah. So then they say most of these trackers last for 2 to 3 years, right? If something happens to the animal dies, they'll give you another animal to track.
With the same purchase?
Yeah.
Wow.
The same purchase. Yeah.
Wow.
And then usually if you don't see anything for about 3 months, it usually means something could have happened to the device that's on the animal, right?
It fell off.
It fell off or something. Or sometimes these animals go into such remote areas of the jungle that the satellite can't even find them. So sometimes, if you go on a daily basis, you could see where the animal is, but the animal, 3 days ago might have been in a really remote place and the satellite couldn't, find it.
Wow.
But for what is it? $17, $16.95. It's a really cute little gift. I can't remember what animal I got Jelaine. Do you remember what animal I got her?
No, but she said
I remember what I got her. And I know why I got it for her. It just came
Okay.
to me. I'm such an idiot.
Oh.
I got her a turtle, a sea turtle. Because I remember when her and her husband went to, I can't remember where they went in the Caribbean somewhere.
Isn't that our son-in-law?
Our son-in-law. Yeah. Who did I say?
You said her
Our
husband.
Yeah. Our son-in-law. Oh my God. Anyway, they went somewhere, and she said the favorite part of her trip was they went to see the release of all these baby turtles and these turtles that were in a rehabilitation
that is so
place,
cool.
right? So she said, I just love seeing the turtles, and we watched them, and they went down the beach, and there were all these people on each side of the turtles making sure they got into the water safely.
Cool.
So I got her a turtle bracelet.
Nice.
I'll have to ask her tomorrow when I see her if she, got the barcode and scanned it and stuff. And it's really easy. I mean, anybody could do it. But they had like a sloth, they had a tiger, they have like all kinds of animals.
Which one would you pick for me?
Oh, what would I pick for you? Oh my gosh! What kind of
sloth?
The sloth? Because you're slow.
What?
It's an inside joke with Robert and I. Because I'm from New York, so everything happens fast and we're loud and it's a lot. And then when I met Robert, he was like so calm and peaceful and slow. So I remember my mom was asking me, "Well, tell me about him." So I was like, well, he's the St. Paul guy. He's like really nice and he's kind and he's slow. And I said, he's just sounding kind of like slow. So anyway, maybe I would get you a sloth, but they had all kinds of animals. And I just think it's like a really fun thing. I mean, it's a fun thing for even kids, Maybe I should get one for Renzo and Olivia. They would probably like it.
I think it would be cool if Native Roots Trading Post could hook up with an organization like this. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I could look this up and see if there's anything like we could reach them.
Yeah.
Or look them up.
Or start our own.
Each bracelet tracks the animal, and it's really, you learn your giraffe's name, the story, their family, you follow them, incredible track on their exclusive tracking map. Yeah, and it's in partnership with the Somali Giraffe Project. So that's where my giraffe came with.
Awesome. Hey, Big Peeny Gigi. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you are part of the resistance. From Chief Plenty Coops, the ground in which we stand on is sacred ground. We'll see you next week.